Shemai everyone, and welcome to this artist comparison lesson. So let's have a look at your learning objectives for today then. So today you're going to learn more about artist comparison, learn the difference between man-made vs natural photography, learn more about composition, and you're going to be practicing your photography skills. So let's have a recap of these two artists then. So we've got Doherty and Karl Blossfeldt. Doherty is a fashion and food photographer. He was born in 1989 and works in Brooklyn, New York. And then we've got Karl Blossfeldt, who was a photographer, sculptor and teacher, born in 1865 and worked in Berlin, Germany. So I know we've had a look at these two artists already, but this is just a quick little recap because we're going to be comparing the two. And the reason why we're looking at these two artists in particular is because they are related to your project of natural forms. And now I would like you to spend some time comparing these two photographs. So we got Doherty's on the left and Karl Blossfeldt's on the right. What are some of the main differences that you notice? I'd like you to pause the video now and have a think to yourself about what those differences are. So one of the big differences is the subject matter and content. So we can't not notice that one of them photographs a natural resource while the other photographs a man-made resource. So when I say that, what I mean is that natural materials are fundamentally different from man-made materials. So the difference is that natural resources are found outside. So if I was to walk outside my house, I would more than likely find a lot of natural resources. For example, the sun, an apple, leaf, water, wind, mud, chickens, versus man-made. So man-made items are items that have been made by man. For example, with a pizza, someone has created that, and then we've got a diamond ring, we've got an iPad. These have all been manufactured and made by someone. So let's go back to Doherty's photographs. So this one was of cakes, and that would perfectly fit into my description of a man-made resource. And that was one of the key differences in their work. However, there are a lot of other differences. For example, Doherty shoots in colour. However, Karl Blossfeldt only photographed in black and white. Another big difference is that Karl Blossfeldt often shot singular object photographs. For example, there's only usually one plant in the image, and this is taken up close, so it's really detailed. However, you may notice that Doherty tends to repeat the objects in his images. So you can see here, for example, take the hot dogs at the bottom. They've come in a 3. And then we've got the donuts, which are repeating, and we've also got the chicken wings, which are repeating as well. Sometimes he does take singular object photographs. However, this seems to be much more rare compared to Karl Blossfeldt. However, there are some similarities. So you may look at it and not recognise any yet, but both works are extremely detailed. So you can see on the hot dog photograph by Doherty, the wrapping paper, you can see all the little crinkles in the silhouette, as well as the relishes that have been put on the hot dogs. And this is noticeable in Karl Blossfeldt's work as well. So he gets a lot of intricate little details in his leaf photographs and his plant photography. So both of them are close-up, detailed photographs. So as I established earlier, Karl Blossfeldt photographed in black and white. However, in some photographs you can see this almost yellowy grey tone. To replicate that in your own images, it might be useful to use a filter called sepia. So sepia is a reddish-brown colour associated particularly with monochrome photographs of the 19th and early 20th centuries. And you can usually get this on camera filters and on editing software as well. However, Doherty's work tends to be extremely colourful, very stylised, and he uses a lot of pop art references. So pop art was a movement, and it basically focuses on popular culture. So there was a lot of bright colours and different kinds of objects that were being repeated, and this tends to be how Doherty prefers to work as well. However, both artists also photograph their work using a different composition. So this is an example of a symmetrical composition. A composition means the way a photograph is taken and structured. So for example, with this bridge image, you can see everything is very symmetrical and the same on either side of the photograph. However, we can assume that Karl Blossfeldt used a macro composition. For example, he used a large view of a very small object, so it makes the image micro or macro. And you can see there the very detailed example that you get from using macro composition in your work. So now you know a lot more about Bobby Doherty and Karl Blossfeldt and the different kinds of ways in which they have worked. I would like you to do your brief task or main task. So using any camera available, and this includes your phone, laptop, all those types of things, please compose and capture 2 photographs using found materials around your home. So one photo in the style of Bobby Doherty and the other in the style of Karl Blossfeldt. And I want you to remember everything that you've learned from this lesson. So I want you to think about the colour, the composition, the style, the different kinds of objects that you were choosing. Are they suited to man-made resources or natural resources? And when you take these photographs, you will be using them in the future on your artist research pages. When submitting your work, I would like you to include a sentence of annotation for each photograph and explain your choices. So for example, if you've used a particular colour, tell me why, and if you've chosen a certain object, I'd like to know why as well. So you've had your task for today. If you haven't got access to any camera whatsoever, you will be sketching out your ideas of what to take a photograph of. So I hope I've made everything clear, and I can't wait to see your final work on Teams assignments. So good luck guys, and hwyl for now. Bye guys.